FLXFun.com studio, where I'm joined by Jim Sinicropi, Katherine Chase, because it is Wine Wednesday already, and she brought her own guests today, which are Cole Wilson, who is the new owner of Knapp Winery, and his winemaker, Vanessa Hoffman. So we're going to talk all fun things Knapp Winery. But first, today's show is brought to you by Cicino's Pizzeria and Restaurant. Their dishes are sure to brighten your day with delicious and flavorful ingredients, and they offer online ordering for pickup and delivery, so it is easy and convenient. You can order online at Cicinos.com, and they also have delivery now available from their casino location, which is pretty sweet for people who don't maybe live as close to
Really,
the
to
Cicinos.
tire. They're serving tire then.
Yeah, they're serving the tire community, but I'm very excited to have you guys in on the show. Welcome. Welcome back, Katherine Chase. That means it's already the end of April. I feel like it's going by super fast, which means spring
Things
is
are
here.
really heating up on the old Cuba Lake Wine Trail about this time of
Sure,
year. I
yeah,
bet.
it's starting to pick up.
It sure is. And so, Cole, I want to talk to you first. You are actually the new owner of Knapp Winery, so tell me how long you have had that title and kind of a background about yourself.
Well, in my mind, a very short amount of time. We closed in mid-December, so
Wow.
it's been 4 months, 5 months. So I'm very excited about it. I've been in the Finger Lakes for 20-something years, my wife and I. My wife's also an owner. We do this together.
Awesome.
I did have some experience in the industry for the last 4 years or so. I was worked at another winery as director of operations.
Awesome.
South end of Seneca Lake.
So then you were just like, you know what? I'm going to now be the owner of a whole winery.
Yeah. Well, I had to convince my wife it was a good idea.
Right. Of course.
And it not only just any winery. This is a winery with a ton of history and one of the oldest, in the area. And so, without preempting too much of what you want to talk about, what was it like taking over a place that has so much, history behind it?
It's hard. I'm still sort of pinching myself.
Aw.
It's actually hard because I did go to Knapp. We used to go there for dinners. We'd go there for tastings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 20 years ago. And I had an opportunity to talk to Doug Knapp on the phone just recently. So it does have a ton of history, and I'm trying to think of the way. It's a fine line. I want to bring sort of more modernness
Of course.
to it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely want to respect the tradition and the name of Knapp. It's been around since 1984. So.
And nothing more important to a winery than your winemaker. So tell us a little bit about your relationship with Vanessa and how she became to her position.
Yeah, so I am so excited to have Vanessa on board. She really has a fantastic resume. I'll let her or you pick at it. But we actually met in a sort of bizarre way because she actually interviewed for a winemaking position at the other winery that I worked for before.
Perfect.
And so when I knew that we were looking at Knapp and it was looking like it was more possibility, I called her and said, well, would you like to come be the winemaker?
Awesome.
Basically said yes.
Is that what you did?
She's still thinking about it.
No, I was really excited to jump on board with, it's an old brand. There's a lot of history to it, but, there's new owners and we're trying to bring a lot of new energy and new improvements, and it's a really exciting adventure.
And what a better time, I just think, in the history of Finger Lakes wines in general to become so involved. It just feels like things have elevated in the past decade, and the momentum's continuing. And so, to be a part of the overall story of the region, I guess, has got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I've worked in the wine industry for over 10 years, most of it in California. But I've been following the Finger Lakes since I started in the industry and reading about it, and it seems it's really growing. It's really exciting. I really wanted to be part of this wave of wines and wineries that are sweeping the area.
I have a question. Would you say that winemakers are predominantly males in this area, or are we seeing more and more females in the winemaker industry?
Yeah, I mean, actually, through the whole country, most winemakers are males, and this statistic is a couple years old, but as of a few years ago, almost 60% of graduates in winemaking degrees are women, but less than
Awesome.
15% are winemakers.
Wow.
So it's really starting to change, and I think you really see it around here. There's been a lot of female winemakers coming up around Seneca and Cayuga, but
Part of our, part of the fabric of the history of our area is tied to women's rights in Seneca Falls and Waterloo especially, and really throughout the whole 5 and 20 corridor, I guess, where really the birthplace of the women's rights movement and, women's suffrage, all that had its roots here. So it's great to see the Finger Lakes maybe taking a lead in that diversification of genders in the maker industry. And sticking with you real quick, just how did you come to this position just professionally? Like, what was did you go to college for this? Did you apprentice? Like,
I did. So I was always interested in wine. I almost got my bachelor's degree in winemaking, but I was 18 and I was like, I really don't drink wine, not good wine. What am I doing? What am I doing with this degree? So I got a degree in molecular biology, but after that, I was still interested in the wine industry, and I thought, well, I'll work a harvest. They hire in the harvest in the lab. It's like, oh, that'll be related to science.
Right,
Do
yeah.
that for a couple months, and then I'll move on. But I
never
never
moved
moved
on.
on. Yeah,
moved
so
on.
I got to work in California and also Australia, New Zealand, and then I knew I really wanted some academic experience in winemaking. So in 2019, I moved to Italy and I got my master's degree in Italy.
Oh, my
wow. That must
goodness.
have been an incredible experience.
It was
Right.
Yeah, it was really great.
You really work through all the different climates too.
Yeah.
did.
And so in the back of your mind, did you just really love the cool climate overall, or like how did you end up
This is-
choosing ours?
Admittedly, this is the coolest climate I've ever worked in. Italy, Australia, California, they're pretty warm. So, that was what I was most nervous about, my first winter in the Finger Lakes. But it was really exciting. I really loved the snow. I was sad to see it go.
Wow. Oh,
We had some
jeez.
this morning.
Yeah, there was some this morning, just for you.
And you won't miss it for long. It'll be back.
That's kind of cool for us. I feel like you had all these opportunities to stay in these amazing places and you chose the Finger Lakes, and I think that shows how great we've been in this industry and how far along we've come with the wine making and the wine in the region, which you guys did bring us 3 wines to try, and I can't wait to try them. Are these all new releases? Tell us kind of what we're going to be drinking.
They are all new releases. The first one is our Saval Blanc, which I love this wine, and as a Californian, I love making and drinking Sauvignon Blanc, and so I was a little bit sad to move here and move away from the big Sauvignon Blanc area. But I found Saval, which is a hybrid, and I just love it. I think it really compares to Sauvignon Blanc. It's so fresh and crisp and fruity and tropical. It's a really fun wine.
She really talked that up. I see where you get all your notes from. We're starting light, right?
I too
Correct?
am a Sauvignon Blanc fan, and there's only a couple on our lake,
Yeah.
I think. But now I might try more Savals if I know they're kind of
Katherine
related.
Chase, we're going to put you on the spot. When you smell this, what is your first smell?
It is citrusy.
Okay. She's like, I'm like, is
I'm
she
like, oh,
doing
no.
right? Is she correct? Is it weird? I
Usually me
smell.
putting you guys on the spot.
I know.
It's not incorrect or correct. It's let's
try it.
it's an individual experience.
Oh wow, it's so light.
Oh, it's delicious. I love it. Look at Jim. You're really chewing the wine.
I know. I taught them to chew their wine.
She has taught us so much in her almost 2 years of being with us now that having someone like you come on, I'm like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Let me think of all the things that she taught me that I need to do. So this is delicious. You said
is
this
really
is a new
refreshing.
release
It
as
is.
of,
Yes, as of March. I
wow.
believe. Yeah.
Wow. So we're
Everything we're tasting is your handiwork today.
Yes, it is. So the last wine, the red, is it's a 2020 vintage. So obviously I wasn't here, but with the reds, I went through and I tasted all of our barrels individually, and then I made barrel blends out of my favorite barrels for each wine. So the 2020 red is not, I didn't ferment it, but I did create it.
We always talk about like how many wines we have tried with you, and it's cool to have the actual winemaker in the studio where you're like, I'm trying this, but like the hands that work, the mastermind behind it is sitting with us
We
as
have drank a
well.
lot of Knapp wines over the
We
past
have.
2 years of Wine Wednesdays with the Cuba Lake Wine Trail, but, yeah, this is delicious, you know, in this time of year, you know, when I taste it, I picture myself, you know, in the afternoon out on the deck.
Yes.
You know, maybe with, or for dinner, a light seafood dish or
Ooh.
chicken dish.
Yeah.
But,
Or just by itself because it's really good.
Yeah, and when it's like that warmer, maybe you just we're out in the sun, you got a little sunburn, and you're using this to cool. I'm like picturing it all, and it's so refreshing and delicious. So good job. See, it's cool. We get to be like, good job on
Yeah,
this
thank
one.
you.
Great job.
I was going to just pipe in about Vanessa's winemaking. She sort of glossed over it, but the fact that she's been able to create these from wines, especially the meritage from that was already fermented,
Right.
is like I can't wait until we get to see Vanessa in action from start to finish.
Oh yeah, that's exciting.
She's like taking over, like someone started making dinner and then had to stop, and so now she has to finish it with
Yeah,
some of the
exactly.
wines.
Right.
But eventually she'll be starting the dinner and ending the dinner. I'm pretty excited too. Before they had an off-site winemaker, so this is Knapp's first time in a while they have their own sole winemaker
Oh, that's
to
big
do it
too.
on site and everything.
Yeah.
So much. That's exciting. And so I want to keep moving down the line because this one just looks pretty, right? Oh, you.
I went back to the table.
I saved myself some, you know, to go back
Ooh, what
around
is
3 times.
this?
But
Yeah, this one is a new product for us.
Ooh.
So this is, we call it saignée, and saignée means to bleed in French. And so it's actually, it's a process where you can take your red grapes and before you crush them up and put them in a tank and ferment them and make red wine, you can bleed off some of the juice.
oh,
And that can make your red wines more intense. But then you're left with this really beautiful pink juice. And so we fermented that separately.
and this
So
is
we-
a rosé?
Yeah, it's a rosé, and it's a very dark rosé because it's made from Saperavi, which we grow in our vineyards. And Saperavi is one of the few varietals that have red flesh and red skins. So the red wine Saperavi is really intense, really inky.
Yeah, I've
black
had
color.
Dr. Frank's Saperavi a few times. It usually is really good with pastas.
Yes.
But so same grape, but just a different result, obviously. The Saperavi at Dr. Frank's is really dark and
so pretty.
bold, where this is light and rosé, and then get the
It looks like it'd be sweeter because of how dark it
Right.
is.
I agree.
But no, it is dry. It's got that like hot magenta pink color.
It's so
and
pretty.
Yeah,
Fruity
it's
aromas.
a really fun wine. 2021, we had a lot of Saperavi. There was a huge crop in our vineyard, so we decided to try this as an
wow.
experiment, and we really like the result.
Some of the best
it
wines
delicious?
are experimental.
Yeah.
Or because you have too much of something and you need to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I've never had something like this before. Like this might be a first. Have we tried anything like this on here?
I don't think so.
and check me if I'm wrong. I mean,
Yes,
but this
You are never
for
wrong,
me,
Jim.
feels like it almost has traits of a Cab Sauv or a Merlot, but in a rosé form. You can taste the boldness of the Saperavi, but still it's a light springtime,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Rosé.
It straddles the line between rosé and red. I think it's a great wine for red drinkers that think they hate rosé, or white wine drinkers that think they hate red
red.
wines. Like,
Yeah.
That's a good.
Here you are.
Yeah,
Here
I'm
you
with
are.
you.
We're in the middle. We're the peacemakers here. I love that. That was delicious. That was so good. And then this one just looks like something that Jim's gonna love. This looks like a classic, delicious red.
I'm
that
still
we're
stuck on this one.
Me too.
Very
Honestly,
unique. Very unique.
And the Saignée, you're actually one of the first people to try it.
Oh.
We haven't released it yet. We're going to release it in a couple of weeks.
We love
so-
that. I'll be
You
getting
know,
a couple
yeah, you
bottles.
know I love that exclusive. You drank it here first. We love getting those. So we'll sign up. You said when are you guys going to be distributing?
We don't have an exact release date yet, but I would say 3 weeks to be safe. Yeah.
3 weeks. I can wait 3
Soon.
weeks because this one is
Within 3
delicious.
weeks.
Yeah.
I just want to show the bottle again when this comes out and you see it on the shelf, either at Knapp or your local.
Say, pronounce that again?
Sanye.
Sonia. I'm like
Sonia.
Sagney.
See,
Like, I know that's not it.
that's why I didn't even look. I didn't
Look for
even.
this
Yeah.
and buy it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. That was a real treat.
The art that they did on that bottle portrays like the pretty beautiful color of the wine that you guys made. Like it's got that magenta and everything,
Yeah.
and I love it. I will remember that bottle.
And it's
It's-
dry rosé.
It's complex too, which
Yeah.
this is, I don't want to diss any other rosés,
Of course.
but.
Yeah.
It is
yeah,
much
they
more
can-
complex.
This is much more complex. You get a lot of different flavors going on and.
Rosé, not my favorite, but this is certainly unique
Yeah.
in the world of rosé.
I love it, and I love that we were exclusive. So we are going to move on to something that when I just took a whiff of it, it has such a strong, different scent from the last one that we were at. So that's what I always
Oh,
love
yeah.
to do is like
This is
try
a
the different-
Knapp brand.
Oh, yeah,
right?
that looks
This
like
is-
a casual.
But this is one of the, at least
Classic.
I seem to have remembered, I drinking a lot of Meritage from Knapp over the years.
Yeah, this is our Meritage. This is 54% Cabernet Sauvignon and 23% each of Cabernet Franc and Merlot.
So it's Bordeaux style.
Yes.
Look
yeah.
at you. So knowledgeable. I love it.
Yeah, and this is, so like I said, it's 2020, which, you know, I'm lucky that my first red wine that I released gets to be 2020 because it was
Yeah.
an incredible vintage here in the Finger
Pretty
Lakes.
sure I have a bottle of this at my house right now. I don't know if it's 2020, but I think I do have a Meritage.
There's a fun fact. Jim is very, very much a red guy, and he loves every red that Katherine Chase
He
brings
prefers
on.
Pinot Noirs, though.
Yes, he
I'm
does.
starting to.
Oh, you are?
I'm starting
You're
to.
switching up.
Starting to move out.
I never thought I would like red. I was that person that was like, okay, let me get in the middle, and I love this one, but I have grown. Thank you.
I
to
like.
you.
I think that the Pinot Noirs in the Finger Lakes are really good. Like the past few years. And so that's part of it too. I think Cab Francs have been really good in the Finger Lakes recently too. And normally, I guess worldwide, the Rieslings are more what the region's known for. But I really think that the
They're growing.
reds
yes.
are coming.
Our reds are trying to catch up to Riesling, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about this one.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I chose these is, you know, I thought I'd bring something a little different than Riesling and Cab Franc.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
we do make, and they're wonderful, they're incredible. We just released our 2021 dry Riesling, and you should definitely come try them.
Ooh, can't
But-
wait to try that one.
But this, the Meritage, so like I said, I tasted all of the barrels that we had, and then I started putting together blends, and the Meritage was the blend that I put together first, and it was really all of my favorite barrels, all of the barrels that I thought were really tasting powerful and intense and jammy, and that really characterizes all of 2020 for the red wines, but I think this is really something special.
Yeah,
This is
they're
delicious.
very good, and you want to keep a constant stock of this.
Yeah.
This is a good weeknight dinner wine.
Yeah, it's making me want steak and
Steak,
potatoes.
yeah, that's exactly it. You can have, what would you do? I know you love to bake and you love to cook. Would you do basically only steak with this? I would do steak and seafood. Is that weird?
Pasta would be great.
Yeah, a red sauce, something heavier. The light meals, the wine would just kind of overpower if you had a lighter chicken, I'd say.
I think this would go
This would
good
be
with
good
a
with a beef
spicy curry.
stew.
If you're
Ooh.
looking for something other than just a red meat or pasta, a spicy curry.
We love to eat food here too on this podcast. So we're like acting like we are wine and food kind of.
Well, it's a big part of the wine, when you pair it with a good
Experience.
food, it
what
really
it's all
changes
about.
the wine and the food and just your overall meal. So it's
Yeah. This is delicious on its own though. And like I said, I'm still so new to the reds and I only am knowing anything about reds because of Katherine. So this one, like, it doesn't seem too dry for me and it doesn't seem like it's, I don't know, it's not too velvety. Is that like a term? I don't know what.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know a
Good
term.
middle
to
road,
use. It's
like I said, like you're gonna want to always have a bottle of this at the house.
I think that has to do though with the blending and
Yeah, the
having,
blend.
I mean, that's what blends are supposed to do, right? They're supposed to be, 1 + 1 = 3.
Right. Yeah.
And, that the whole is better than the sum of the parts. And I think this is a perfect example of blending correctly.
It's blended perfectly, so you should give yourself a little pat on the back. You took something and you ran with it that wasn't yours to begin with, which I think is cool. So I can assume that moving forward, we will get to be excited and look forward to a bunch of new reds from you in the upcoming
Yeah,
season.
definitely.
Yeah, do you have any more teasers for us? Or is the Saunier the only one you can tease?
The Saunier, let's see. Oh, we'll also have a sparkling rosé, a Method Champenoise, coming out in the next couple
Delicious.
of months. We're just in the label design process at the moment, so I don't have a release date for that yet.
Explain
I'm
to me.
excited for that.
Dry Vidal too is going to be coming out.
Oh,
eventually.
yeah, and another new product we did was dry Vidal. So Vidal Blanc
Okay.
is typically used to make ice wine around here, and we do have an iced wine that we make out of it, but we had, like most of 2021, we had a very large crop of Vidal, and so we had a lot of extra, and we decided to experiment again, and we tried to make a dry white wine out of the Vidal, and it's really incredible. It's really crisp. It's crisper than the Seyval Blanc. It's a little drier. It's a lot more citrus forward, I would say, whereas the Seyval is a little more tropical stone fruit
Yeah.
based.
This sounds fantastic, just by the description.
yeah.
When can I sneak over to try it?
Anytime. To be honest, it's, I said I've been in the Finger Lakes for a long time. There was a winery, I'll use the name, Standing Stone, used to make a dry Vidal 10 years ago, that my wife and I drank like
Often?
all the time.
Yeah.
And so, Vanessa created the wine, but there was a little bit of a push, like, we got to try to make this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
exciting.
Well, first, I want to apologize for all the noise. I don't know if it's coming through, but as we mentioned before on a few of our shows, we're building a new studio down the hall, and eventually, hopefully before too many more weeks go by, we'll be. Actually, we were talking to Katherine. We were thinking that maybe July's Wine Wednesday will be the debut in the new studio. It's
Oh
gonna
my
be
goodness, the
pretty good.
debut. Oh my goodness, you better do something big
I'm
for
gonna wear
that.
a crown.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Do something big for it. We've had so much fun with our Wine Wednesdays. We've brought on so many amazing people, and I'm very excited for you guys. It seems like you just have so many great things that are going on, and I'm sure the previous owners love that. You still want to, you're not coming in and trying to change everything. You still want to keep that charm that it
And
has.
a question I had is, so you took over in December, and Vanessa, when did you come on?
December.
Or same time, December. So you come in December, the harvest is complete, and you like take an inventory of like what you have to work with, and then make a plan from there. Like that's got to be,
Tricky.
just yeah, like and before you took over, you obviously probably had an idea of what you were coming into. But what's that like? You're making wine from the previous owner's harvest from,
It was a little controlled chaos. I said it was kind of like jumping on a hamster wheel, like while it's running,
Of course.
There was a lot of cogs you had to keep control of, but it was exciting, and yeah, it was really fun to jump in and taste everything and start blending and putting together wines. I'm really glad I still had a chance to experiment and create a couple new products, while still making all of our same favorites.
Of course.
well, I'll do a quick review.
Well, thank you, Nicole, for letting her experiment.
This was
also.
the wine that really kind of blew me away.
Same.
It's great to, when you said Saperavi, you can taste it, and this was a really unique rosé. And generally, not a fan. Rosé would not be my go-to, but this
I'm just so surprised you don't like rosé. Not even a Pinot Noir. I know you tolerate it when I bring it on, but I'm just surprised you're not like a rosé
Well,
lover.
if it's like
I'm just surprised.
if you're gonna drink 2 glasses of a rosé, I don't know. But this was really was something
I
special.
would never think it
That
was a rosé.
This was really surprising and delicious. And as far as, any white wine goes,
Mm-hmm.
this is your perfect wine for this time of year.
Top tier.
If I'm probably not gonna drink many whites in the fall, but in the spring, and this was great. And then, like I said, the Meritage is a wine that, I think it's a staple wine.
Of course.
It should be a staple wine.
Yeah.
So you can pull it out, like I say, at weeknight dinners.
Wow, your guest and be like, oh, look what I have.
But yeah, so,
Like, I met the winemaker.
Yeah, that's if you think I don't drop that stuff when I'm like, this wine, now I can be like, Vanessa told me.
We're on a first name basis.
Yes, that there is a new wine coming out. I'm not supposed to say. Oh, I use that to my advantage. I think everyone that you picked was absolutely delicious and a little bit different than something that I have tried in the past.
Very good.
You've brought on a million things, but like I said, the
what was
middle
your
one-
favorite of the three?
I'm going with the rosé that
Absolutely.
was delicious. I mean, but this red definitely surprised me because I was worried it was going to be a little too dry to my liking, and it was like so perfect. Maybe it's just because I'm having a more mature palate.
Well, you're growing up,
Yeah, you're
Sid,
evolving.
You're
Yeah.
growing up.
I am.
You
I'm
are
getting
growing
old.
up.
I
You're like
can't help it.
25.
Heritage, I wouldn't, I'm not telling you to store it for 20 years or anything,
Of course.
but it should last in the bottle for a plenty long time.
Oh yeah, which would make it
5
even
to 10
better,
years
right?
should be fine.
Oh my.
Getting better every year.
I can't say that I have ever been able to keep a bottle of wine that long,
Yeah,
but
that's my problem. I can't,
it's hard.
Well,
I'm
the
way too impatient.
trick is, and this is something I just started doing, was, buy 6 bottles, drink 4, save 2.
Okay,
Or
that's
buy
a good.
12,
Yeah.
drink 8 and save 4.
Drink eight.
I've tried that, and you just end up drinking more.
You have to hide those four so you don't know where they are.
During the pandemic, when Catherine would come on and she would tell us about all the wineries that you can do, like the boxes and you can mix and match, like that's when we were like, all right, we're going to be able to save some wine finally. I'm like, well, we got a party coming up and we got no wine, so I'm going to have to go and get
So
it.
before we go,
Yes, please.
the wines aren't the only things that they're changing at Knapp. What kind of new stuff do you have on your events calendar that we could look forward to?
Yes, we have, so let's see, we have a trivia night on May 18th. We have music throughout the summer, most Saturdays.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I
check our
think
website.
through November I've
Something
seen that you
new?
have
Is that
the-
something new? I don't remember Knapp having a
They
regular.
dabbled in it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't regular.
Yeah, and let's
Exactly.
see, what else? Oh, I'm doing a series of, we're calling them Seriously Fun Wine Classes. So the next one is May 14th, and it's going to be a deep dive into Blaufränkisch.
Great.
Oh, wow.
And you'll get to try a Blaufränkisch vertical from us. So,
I love that. I mean, if you like, a lot of people like drinking wine, just because they like to drink wine,
Yeah.
or drink in general. But we live in this burgeoning, region, and there's an opportunity to take it to another level, And so offering something like that, I think, is really great.
Vertical
and people
tastings
should take
are
advantage of
awesome.
it.
yeah, it's really exciting in the Finger Lakes too, because there's such a difference vintage to vintage, and you really get to try that when you try all the wines side by side.
Are those in person now? Like everything in person?
Yes,
And-
yeah, they're
That's
in person,
amazing.
and you can sign up through our website as well.
So how long is that series going to be?
That's a good question.
However
We're
long the
still
fun
trying to
lasts.
figure out how many classes we can fit in before harvest.
of course.
Yes.
Did you do it like seriously fun because it's a series? Was that a play you had going?
She's like, yes, sure.
Oh, yeah. I caught on. Pretty funny.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't also mention that the restaurant is
Oh, yeah.
opening on Wednesday, the May 11th.
May 11th.
Yes.
For lunches, and then June 1st, and this is new, we're opening for dinners as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
It's very
It's
new.
a new place for dinner.
Yeah.
And the restaurant has a new look.
New look.
Yeah.
Which is unique in the
Yeah.
wineries. There's not a lot of wineries don't offer lunch, let alone dinner, but certainly wineries tend to close around 6 o'clock.
Yep.
And being someone who goes on a lot of wine trails, it's always a little frustrating sometimes because you feel like, but so now you can plan your wine trail trip to arrive at Knapp and end it with a nice dinner.
That's amazing. How far are we from Knapp, from our studio, Jim?
15 minutes.
Tops.
Tops,
Tops.
15 minutes?
Ernsberger?
Yeah, that's
Ernsberger Road,
Ernsberger Road. Oh. We used to live on Ernsberger Road for a slight amount of time. Me and Felecia, we lived on Ernsberger Road, and now I'm just asking because staff lunches. So you're saying lunch?
you can
Oh, if we
squeeze
come
it
pick
in.
it up in 15 minutes and
Yeah.
get back here, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good. Yeah, I like that.
So exciting. Well,
Very good.
just like that, really, it's already almost time for us to leave. So I do want to thank you guys for coming in. It was a really great show. You guys brought on amazing wines, and we're excited for you in the future of Knapp.
Congratulations, good luck,
Thank you very
and definitely
much.
excited to see what happens over the upcoming weeks and years and months and years and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you, Katherine Chase, for then bringing on your own guests. I love that we have made it now where we're hosts, but then Katherine Chase is also a host sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here doing not much.
Yeah, you didn't even bring,
she's a facilitator.
she didn't even bring
Facilitator.
notes today,
No, I
and
just
that's
brought oyster
big.
crackers.
Yeah, she brought the crackers, and that's it. But
Easiest podcast yet.
yeah, like I said, we'll soon be in our new studio, and you're gonna be the debut person, hopefully, for that studio. Fingers crossed, everything goes
That'd be
good.
cool. I'll be upset
and-
if I'm not.
Yeah, I'll be upset too. But like I said, thank you for joining us. And thank you, everybody who was watching the show. If you enjoyed, you can click like, you can share with your friends, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back again next Wednesday, of course. And until then, have a great weekend here in the Finger Lakes.